There was Jodeci feeling. So yesterday was the 4th of July. It's really hard to celebrate our nation's independence, knowing that some of us weren't free for about 100 years after that, and especially knowing what's going on these days. Back then, they still separated families from each other, and they're still doing it now. I got a chance to watch a documentary about the immigration courts. And if you're it doesn't matter what age you are, a lot of those immigrant children, they go before those judges. They can't speak English. I don't care if they're 2, 3, a toddler. If they go before that court, don't have representation, 90% of them go back to get deported. Now, it doesn't have to be to their homeland. So they may leave and go somewhere they never from, a 3-year-old child. And this is how we celebrate our Independence Day, 6-year-old children. And we're supposed to celebrate our Independence Day. There was a new poll that came out that was startling to anybody that hasn't been paying attention for the last 3 years. It said that 50% of Americans believe Donald Trump is a racist. 50%. 47% do not. We know that 3 in 4 white men voted for Donald Trump. 54% of white women voted for Donald Trump. Virtually every class, whether they were poor, whether they... the only group of white women that didn't vote for him were millennials. So we know that overwhelmingly white people voted for Donald Trump. Overwhelmingly they did. And his approval rating among Republicans is at 90%. The intra party, in other words, Republicans dig him more than they have dug any other Republican presidents since George Bush's father, and he was fighting a war. So all that's gone on, they love what he's doing. 50% of Americans know him to be a racist or believe him to be a racist. 47% do not. What I'm saying is, how do you get... I don't trust white people when it comes to racism because the judgment has been so flawed before. They didn't think racism was all that bad. They didn't think interning people was all that bad. They didn't think putting people in Indians on reservations was all that bad. They didn't think separate but equal was all that bad. You have poor judgment when it comes to racism. It's a game you don't get to play because you're not good at it. You're not good at discerning what's racist or not. You're still fighting to keep Confederate statues with the very symbol of racism, so you don't get to play. And also, if you've never been called a name because of your race, you've never been denied a loan because of your race, or followed around the store because of your race, or stopped by the police because of your race, it's a game you don't get to play. 50% of Americans know Donald Trump to be racist. 50% of Americans know him to be racist. What I want to know is, what the hell are the other 47% thinking?